It was like a little beep beep, like it was just a happy little convertible. I was very, very excited about it. I can't imagine anyone else driving it besides a teenage girl. That day I had been out on a blind date, which had gone, really well. He was a cute boy. I was really excited to meet him. It's so exciting when you have your first car and it belongs to you and you just want to take care of it. There weren't other people in the car wash, but there were some guys there who worked at there's a bakery that's open really late, and they were just taking a break. I had begun washing the car when this person approached me. His face was covered with a rag, a wadded up rag he had held to his mouth, and he said, I've been hurt, I was in a fight, I need help, I need to go to the hospital. I looked up and the other men were suddenly gone, and I was alone with this person. And in that moment, I realized that something was wrong, the alarms went off. I said, okay, sure, I can help you. And, knowing in my mind that I was gonna get in my car and drive away. So I said, let me just get my mats in the car, and then I will, I'll take you to get help. And I walked back to the door to get back into the car, and suddenly he was there. It was like he had materialized behind me, and I didn't see how it was possible for someone to move so quickly. The next thing I knew, he had this knife against my throat. There was no doubt in my mind that he was ready and willing to use the weapon that he had. And he also told me a lot of stories about other people that he had hurt to let me know. He told me that he had stabbed other people. He told me that he was responsible for murder. He told me many things that made me very certain that there was no reason he wouldn't take my life. He was either holding the knife around my throat or he would keep it against my side. The only thing that I could think to do was to create a relationship with him to the point where he wouldn't want to hurt me. He told me that he was from Texas and that he had a wife who he was really angry at. And at this point, I tried to turn that into, but I don't think that you're angry with me, and I don't think that you want to hurt me. I think that you're angry at your wife, but I'm not her. Every once in a while, he would realize that he was letting his guard down, and that would make him really angry. And when he would get angry, he would push the knife further into my chest or push the knife further into my throat. At first, I felt really confident that I could talk him out of hurting me, but as the evening wore on, I realized that I was not dealing with a rational person. I was not dealing with someone that I could talk sense to. We pulled off into this truck yard, and he made me take off all of my clothes, and that's the first place where he sexually assaulted me. After he assaulted me, he asked for my license. He said, "This is so that I know where you live. And if you ever tell anyone what happened, I'm gonna come to your house and I'm gonna kill your family." He had me get back into the driver's seat, and he allowed me to put my shirt and my skirt back on. I thought he was gonna let me go, and he didn't. He said, "Drive out." And I just felt devastated, because after this horrible thing had happened, thinking that it was going to be over, but it wasn't over yet. He had me drive into this truck stop. There's a freeway going over it, pull into the underpass, and we just sat there for the longest time. A woman sitting at a bus bench across the way got up and walked over to the car. She said, "Do you guys want to party?" I told her, no. After she walked away, he forced me to perform oral sex on him again. And I said, Steve, but you promised me that you wouldn't make me do that anymore. And he said, well, that bitch made me horny. So I did what he asked, and so I did what he asked. And after another silence, he said, okay, I'm gonna let you go now. I'm gonna let you go now. But I want you to remember that I know where you live and that I know when you make a police report. I can hear it, I have a scanner. And if you do that, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna kill you and your family. And he said that he'd had such a nice time with me and that maybe one day he would come back and take me on a date. And then he got out of the car and he backed into the darkness back there. And as soon as I didn't see him anymore, I drove away. As I drove away, I realized that there was never going to be a time in my life where I could be confident he wouldn't come back. I just completely lost it. I was screaming and crying and then realized that there had to be a next step. Even though I was terrified of what would happen if I made a police report, I knew I couldn't not make a police report. He was obviously going to do it again, and I couldn't be responsible for that. I just couldn't. I spent most of that time thinking that he was going to come back for me any day. I would imagine waking up and finding my family had been murdered. I had lived 14 years in a state of terror and depression, and I wasn't even living. I started to live my life, at the age of 32. Him being caught completely changed my life. I survived because I followed my instincts and I did what I thought I needed to do in order to leave the situation alive. Even though it wasn't heroic by some standards, it was exactly what it needed to be for me to be here today.